said Secretary Clinton attended the September 11th commemoration ceremony for an hour and 30 minutes this morning to pay her respects. During the ceremony, she felt overheated.
So, overheated is the code word of the day. So, could it be that this Hillary Clinton collapse has more to do with the Zika virus than what anyone else is thinking? So, you know, you've got the whole scene set up. It's either real or ritualized, but it's all communicating something, and it's really not good. Of course, we got that little piece of metal that falls out of her leg, stuff like that. Yeah, definitely you can see from this angle better. A piece of metal just falls out. Yeah, there it goes. What was that? Who even knows? So there she's carted away, and that's the end of that. But the real code is overheated, alright? So that matches up with Zika fever. We've been going on with the Zika code for a few days prior to this happening. And the connection is to the movie Pluto Nash with Eddie Murphy. So in it, you've got one character, looks like a Zika fucking baby, of course. And then the robots, right? Now, what's important about this scene is the fact that, as many might already know, is the money has Hillary Clinton's face on it. You're going to see how this all ties together in a major way. So, Eddie Murphy pulls out the money and it's got Hillary Clinton's face on it. And this fucking freak, of course. Another later scene is when they're driving on the highway and they pass by Donald Trump's Trump Realty. Now, if you look close enough, you will see that they are wearing hazmat suits. What looks like hazmat suits. And are basically in a quarantine zone. Those don't look like houses, they look like quarantines. So, why? Because with the Zika virus in a play and Hillary Clinton collapsing from overheating, well, it's starting to look like a contagion that's going around. Or at least they're communicating this. It's up to the viewer to determine, ultimately. So, now, the point with the whole moon is that you've got Eddie Murphy's in Shrek, right? With your sickle cell anemia, but Eddie Murphy's Pluto Nash on the moon. So you've got the same theme. Hell, even the same freaking same architecture on the moon, it mimics the Shrek stump. So you've got your sickle cell, you've got your moon symbolism, okay? So it's all connected. We went through how Mike Myers is Robert Gallo and the whole feces connection because AIDS is transferred apparently through anal sex, right? But we all know that this is something completely different that they're talking about. Yep, Eddie Murphy, right? Eddie Murphy's Pluto Nash. Eddie Murphy has the Hillary Clinton money. Now, what is going on, one's going to ask, right? Ultimately, you have a whole Jewish obsession with fecal matter. And Mike Myers is very prominent with this. Same Mike Myers that works with Eddie Murphy. So the Pluto Nash Trump, the Trump quarantine Zika virus connection, okay? Well, we could go into even Beyonce and all that code, but let's just not mention that. So Hillary Clinton was overheated. So that's a fever. That's your Zika fever. This is what they're talking about, perhaps, but I'm not too certain. Cameron Diaz, because your Diaz is your aidz. So she's alongside Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy in that movie, but now, even in Pluto Nash, Eddie Murphy makes a lot of comments about his ass, okay? And that's where the Zim code ties in, but that I just think I should leave to another video. Because the George Zimmerman stuff all has to do with sodomy. At one point, Eddie Murphy and Pluto Nash mentions a chip in his ass. And saving his ass, saving my ass. A lot of ass talk, right? And again, with the viral outbreak movie I Am Legend with Will Smith, you have the whole Shrek part. Now, if you take into account the sickle cell, the moon, Eddie Murphy, because he's mimicking Eddie Murphy, who we know as Pluto Nash, Hillary Clinton money. It's the presidential theme. So if anyone hasn't done this yet, figure it all out. Here it is. Discuss it. But then again, you saw The Dark Knight matches up 103 with overheated. So you've got your Batman code as well. You're going to see in just a sec how this ties in with further infection themes. So we've got this Toronto Batman just recently here in Canada. So he was exhausted and overheated. That's your keyword, overheated. There's probably even more here, but there's... Anyway, so this article came out. It came out August 12th by Jackie Hong. Nice Asian name. Now, August 12th last year was Tianjin, the giant fireball in China, where a bunch of anomalies were happening and no one really took notice or even mentioned anything about it. So Jackie Hong, August 12th, Tianjin, overheated, fire, and just you've got the same recurring theme, but nobody is connecting these dots. So it's about the Zika virus. So Hillary Clinton's collapse is Zika virus related. And that's all I could really say about this at this point. Add something else that if you've noticed, because there's a lot more to go over.